Hi, welcome back to part 2 of Whittling Kratos God of War, Ghost of Sparta. So we got to the stage last time. So we were just roughing him out. Just going to bring his legs into the back. Both sides. We're just shaping his feet. Just getting some definition in his feet. And we were talking about whether we would put a loin cloth on him, or kilt, or whatever it is he wears. Just get a bit of shape these feet a little bit. So they were coming back into, at this stage, some type of trouser, but we might change that yet. Try and get these feet to look similar. These boots. And then we had this, we're going to make this cut here, and this was, I'm just going to grab my pencil a second. So this was the cut that was going to go down into the V of the shoe area. Could probably bring that down a little bit now that we've dug down. That's going to be like our definition of where our legs are going to be. So what we're going to do there is go down into that bottom of that groove and come up, and then other side to try and make a like a V, and just cut that out. Just try to cut in a triangle. Down there. Bring that up a touch. Just try and give him some sort of leg separation. Okay, shape above that as well. On this shoulder, we're going to want to round this shoulder in a touch, because what we need to do here is get some definition into his arms, so we can see his arms. So we're just going to try and get them to pop out a touch. still shaping that torso area. Bring that across in here so we can try and get some more arm on display there. Okay, and then we're going to just shape it, round it and shape it, round it and shape it. From the top, try and bring that arm, try and bring that shoulder down a bit. Bring it in on that line we had. Okay. So now on the back, we've got the arm running down here. So we can just shape that in with a couple of cuts. Like so. And that will allow us just to go in a little bit and round. I'll try and get this arm a little less blocky and a little bit more rounded. Just do a bit of a definition cut here on his arm. Okay. And then we're going to want to do the same on the other side. Now, we were talking on the other side about him having this armor. He was having, so he had like a breast plate type style thing on here, didn't he? So we had that going right across the shoulder, and then that was going to lead over to this side. So we need to bear that in mind. So what we need to do is roll off this side. And we're going to try and dig a little bit deeper into the elbow area here. Give it some definition, some shadowing, a bit of depth. We've done that there. Just circle off the torso, bring it in on a waistline. Bringing it back up to the shoulder. Okay, so kind of done that up there. body in. We've got to do the same on this side. We've got this armour coming in. So we need to let's shape that elbow like we did the other side. Sorry, shoulder. Shape that shoulder like we did the other side. Running all the way up. We've got much, being a 1x1, we haven't got much wood to play around with. So the more we can plan in the design, the better off we would have been. So we're going to have that arm running roughly down through there. And just shaping the arms really. Nothing clever going on really. Just keep assessing it, turning it. We said we wanted to get this leg in a bit around here, so we could do with kind of bringing his legs in round this sort of area. So if we just do that angle cut right about where we would want his butt to roughly be, and then we just pull the legs into that area a little bit. So we've got him a little bit like that. Let's take a bit of this away. Just try and keep a bit of symmetry at the back as well. So we just slope those legs in. Okay, we've got a bit of interest going on. Break it up a little bit at the back. And then we're going to follow that line we created earlier on. Again, V-tools, excuse me, will make this that much easier. Okay. And we're going to get the legs to break here, come up into the butt. So a bit like so. Okay. So we just cut that line again. Going to cut that triangle out. Do the same down the bottom. as wide or as shallow, deep as we like. Okay, just we will take a little sliver out both sides so that we can see the separate legs, and then we'll just cut into underneath that bum a little bit. And again, you can keep playing with this area until you're happy that you've got the shape that you want. Okay, we'll leave that area for now, but we've got that slight slope in, so it's not looking so blocky. Bit of a butt on him. We separated his legs. We've got his shoes and his feet separated. We've got this area I'm not 100% happy with, but we've got this area where his legs are defined. Okay. Now we were talking about this breastplate type thing coming from around here. That's going to go around the back, I'd imagine, and then a strap is going to come under this arm, and then that would come, I'd imagine, like so. So we've kind of got to bear that in mind as we go round too. Okay. Okay, let's get this waistline in. So it's far too far out. Same on the top. This was going to be, we're going to turn this into a belt. So this is going to be part of his big belt. So if we draw a line where we want that belt pretty much to start, if we can just move the rest of that out. Just shape his hands a little bit. So he's going to come down here because this is a clenched fist, because we're going to have him holding something, and this area is quite thick, so we're going to want to bring that down. shaping that arm some more. Shoulder. Come in, cleaning up this. It's going to be this big beard. Forearm in a little bit so it's not so blocky. A few triangle cuts where we can. That will just bring that arm in so it's not quite so blocky, and we can shape the we'll shape the fist later on, so we're not too concerned about that looking like a hammer right now. Just cleaning up some of those bits. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll come off the shoulder with this, so we will just score around the shoulder, around the chest, and back up towards the bottom of that beard. And we will just take some small cuts out of that. Just to separate that from the body. So later on, when it comes to painting it, we can define that as part of a chest plate, armory of some description. Okay, and then that was attached via a strap which went under his elbow, I believe. Under his armpit, sorry. Okay, and then the bottom of the strap. Just take out the slither underneath. Clean that area up a bit. So that was coming up onto this shoulder. So if we can just define that piece on top of his shoulder. then just round the arm off, try and make it look a little bit more realistic. We've got to try and get that in a little bit so that we've got some more arm definition that we can see. So perhaps just take a small triangle out of there and then try and round this arm and make it look a little bit more realistic like we did with the other one. I'm going to need some depth to do that. So we'll cut in at the elbow. We're bringing them in quite small here. Let's just bring this big fist down a bit. Just try and shape that in a touch. So again, this was his breastplate, which we're just going to cut in here, which we have. I think we'll have that travelling like to go around, so it would come up, kind of come up here and holding it like so. We'll finish that off there, I think. Okay, I think we're taking that as far as we can, really. Now we've just got to do this arm, same as we did with the other one. Just need to shape this out. So we've got his fists right about here. That's about right. Shape the arms again. it's a lot of just going backwards and forwards and shaping it and looking at it and backwards and forwards, and sometimes it just doesn't look good, but you just keep doing it until you get to a stage where you think, okay, that looks good, I like that, and I'll do this, and I'll make some adjustments here, and I'll make some adjustments there. A couple of cuts here will improve that, and that's all we're really doing here. We're just going to make a few cuts to define more of a muscle here than anything else. Muscle definition, maybe. Okay. Okay, so this is the breastplate, so that's why the shoulder's underneath that. Coming across, we've got the strap around the back, which we will tidy up a bit later. And we've got his trousers on. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go back to the face. So what we're going to do here is just round off that nose back towards the eyes. Just trying to get some sort of definition back on that nose. I want to keep these eyes dropped down as well. Okay. Symmetry is important here, but not the be all and end all if you're going for a particular look in the eyes. I'll just pull that back a little bit. Remembering this fella is going to be bold. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to go from what would be the nostril flare on here. So let's get a pencil out. What would be a nostril flare on here, and we're just going to drag it just a touch to here. Same on the other side, trying to keep it the same to here, not too much for this fella. So we'll go in with our knife here, and we'll just come in and remove a small piece just here, back towards the nose. This is just so we can put that nose back into the face, which we've spoken about on other clips I've done. So we're trying to get that nose back into the face. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay. Just trying to keep them similar, both sides. Just trying to get that nose back in. That cut there, we're just going to take a little bit out. That will just allow us to get back under the nose. Same on this side. Back under the nose. Okay. So this fella's going to have beard, which is going to run up and I believe stops at his ears. So it's going to be like so. Okay, and then the other side, same. Runs back and stops here. Okay, we're happy with that. I think we're happy with that. So then we're going to just follow that with our blade. We're just going to follow that line that we've just drawn. And the other side. Follow that line best we can that we've just drawn. And then we're just going to cut down and into that line, small slithers, just to pick that beard out. Okay. And like I say, on all of this, just take your time and shape it how you want to shape it. Get it how you want to get it. No rush. Same on the other side. Consciously just trying to reassess and assess where you are with it. So we get into more of the details right now. Okay. Okay, just gonna start shaping his beard back a little bit because it's quite a beast. So we can start moving it back a little bit, putting a bit of shape into it. Shaping that beard, trying to keep it the symmetry correct. Don't want to take it too thin, just in case we want to play around with some details later. From the tip of this ear, we're going to go back here, and that is roughly where our beard is going to stop. So we're just going to cut that section out, and then we know where our beard ends. Okay. We will need to shape up here as well, so it doesn't look like he's got a side here. Keep this all nice and round for the bald man. Okay, I want that eye to go down a little bit, in a little bit more. Okay. Again, just trying to get, could have got better clean cuts on around the beard really. But we are there and thereabouts. Again, just taking away the side of the head that's bulbed. Okay, we're getting there. And this guy has a bit of a mean look to him. So let's just bring this beard in. Okay. Shape that. Yeah, I think we've got that about right. What I'm going to do is just have a little trim on that nose. So I'm just going to take a fraction out of the bottom for a nostril. And other side, same sort of area. Sure if that's worth the while or not. Let's bring it up a little bit. Blending that beard back in a little bit. Got our nose with a little bit of definition. That nose is going to go back up towards the eyes. So just going to trim that in. Just shape that back into the eye. Okay, and the other side, if we can try and keep the symmetry again. Okay. Okay. Just try and shape that cheekbone a little bit. And run it up alongside the nose. Just trying to get rid of any of the knife marks, but also just smooth it out. Okay. If you follow my other YouTube clips, you'll know that I really like to get the nose into the face rather than on the face. It's something I like to do. I just think it gives it bit of realism. I know this is caricature style carvings that we're doing, but I just think it gives it some real sort of definition to it. So I'm going to just shake this nose a bit more. He's a tough guy who's been in a few fights, so we can have him slightly flagged noses anyway. But I do like to get that nose just tucked into the face. I'd like to be able to see that. I completely managed that on this piece. But I think being so small a piece, I'm probably going to leave it there in the fear of making a mess of it. Okay. And what I'm going to do to give him a little bit of a fiercer look is I'm going to bring that nose up into the brow. What that will allow us to do is give him a bit more of a fierce look across the eyes. So drawing those lines, I'm just going to follow those lines with my tip of my blade and then come back in and just take a slice. I don't think it matters which side you take it on, so I'll probably do both. That's going to help us create a little bit more of a tempered look, because what I'm going to do now is using that line, I'm just going to take some real small shallow cuts in and around that cut. It'll just allow me to create a bit of interest around the eye. Okay, I'm going to do the same the other side. Trying to keep that symmetry right again. These are shadow cuts. Sorry, I'm bringing it closer to myself as I do the smaller cuts, because I really want to know where that's going, and I'm taking it off camera, so I'm just going to just make sure that goes kind of where I want it to go. You can hear the concentration. Again, I've taken it off camera, sorry. Just want to really get that. It's out in front of me and I want to pull it closer to me. That's why I keep going off camera. I apologise. Pull that brow out a little bit, just give him a little bit more of a mean look. I'll just round the head again, because this boy's going to have a really rounded head. I notice we're a little bit over where I usually am on time, so I'm just going to Most of this will now have to wait for part 3 now. Okay, but we're getting there, aren't we? So we could shape this to make him look even more annoyed later. We'll take this back in now. Served its purpose there, just bringing that brow out a little bit. So we can take that back. Both sides. Okay. Still just keep shaping it and shaping it. Do we get close to what we're happy with? Okay. A little bit closer, further down the line. I have to make up my mind what I'm going to do with the eyes here. There would be 2 options. There would be to use a gouge and then gouge in here and create an eye, and then this becomes an eyelid. Or what I think I might do is just some basic V-cut eyes, so that we don't have to complicate it too much. But that is where we are. I'll just come up under there a bit more. Just clean that up for the next one, because the next one will be to put those eyes in and put that mouth in. So we'll have to think about the expression we might want on that mouth, especially considering it's in a beard. Where we might go with that. Okay. I think we'll stop it there. I think I'll just carry on cleaning it up off camera, so you don't have to see me going around doing little cleaning ups. It all looks so much worse on camera than it does off, but that's where we are with him. We will look to put a mouth on him and eyes in the next one. Thanks very much, and see you then.